Hello, hello. How are you? All right. So I'm just going live on here today. So it's okay. I'm good with it. How is everybody doing? We'll let people hop on, see how things go. No, people are going to hop on and then we will get started. Okay. How is everybody doing? You guys know I love telling you when I have IEP meetings. I mean, you know what? Like, it's almost like, I mean, this sounds really bad, but it's almost like entertainment. It really is sometimes because the things that happen are entertaining, but it will really upset me at the same time. So sometimes it's funny entertaining and sometimes it's pissed me off and entertaining. And that kind of entertaining is not cool at all. All right. But with that said, we're going to let people hop on. So if you're hopping on, make sure you share this because you guys are going to get a kick out of this. And it's going to be interesting. So go ahead, share away. Share away. I'm going to sit here and wait because you guys don't want to miss this. I mean, now, there's a first for everything. There really is. Okay, so how there's a first for everything. What do I tell my kids? Like don't put it past you. Look, you can see my shadow. Don't put it past anyone. All right, something can happen, and it's going to be your first. All right, and hi, Amy. How are you? First time watcher. Dear God. Oh my goodness. You should join the group though. Hi. How are you? Tell us about you. Where are you from, Amy? Post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. Okay? That's what we do here, right? So make sure you do that and make sure you say hello. All right. 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. Post a 2 below if you are an oldie but goodie. And you know what? PA. All right. All right. And I have got to, holy crap, I have got to give you guys, I have the names written down to announce for the Amazon gift cards. I did not forget. So I'm going to be announcing that. I'm going to put out an announcement and then I will announce it because, I just got off with Louisiana, friend. I sure did. I was right. I was right. Hands down, I was right. Just playing, guys. Just playing. Okay. All right. So, hi, Faye. How are you? Hi, Tarina. Hi, Rosalinda. Hi, Christina. Silence has been golden, right, Christina? It's been awesome. Silence. Crickets, right? After like World War III, we got crickets. It's awesome. All right. I will take crickets. Stephanie, how are you? Hi, Christine. Christine Johnson. So we have a couple Christines on here. I want to see you disrupt LA. Oh, I just did LAUSD. Just did them. And I actually have a post. Her name is Roxanda. Yeah. LAUSD was cake. I thought it wasn't. And they weren't before. But maybe they just know me now. I don't know. Who knows? They weren't bad. All right. I mean, I fight. But, sometimes I feel like, how like you can leave a meeting and you're just like, ooh, I wanted it to go better, But, you have another one. It's never a one and done, right? He was diagnosed with autism and ODD at the age of 4. Okay, he'll be 10 this June. All right. So, yeah. All right, so you guys ready? Did you guys share this? And yes, I'm so sorry. All right, I know I have to give out 4 Amazon gift cards. Okay, so I promise I'm going to announce it so people join and can, because if they're not on here, they don't get it. No, I'm just kidding. I will email them or somehow get a hold of them. So, okay, so this is what happened today. So I was in an IEP meeting, all right, and It was normal. Everybody introduced themselves and, were handling themselves okay. And then they start the meeting and they, say, okay, we're going to start here. Okay, cool. I used to kind of, step in and say, no, I want to start here. But then I decided, let's let them kind of run their course and do what they want to do. And then we'll get into it. Um, because I realized just giving them that little bit of power goes a long way. All right. So then they start talking about, reading and math. And of course, this is the child's deficits, and every child, it seems like. I think it's like a special education thing. Well, who knows? Because I really sucked at math too. I'm still really, really bad at math. All right. I mean, thank God for the calculator. All right. But don't let your kids use calculators. All right. For basic math, addition, subtraction, basic multiplication and basic division. Okay. Because we want them to know that. I know that stuff. All right. Take me into algebra. Geometry was a no-go. Algebra, I got pre-algebra. Algebra, I struggled. I mean, I don't know how I got through statistics in college or quantitative methods. I hate math. But, so then they just started, the teacher started, okay? And so the teacher already plucked my last nerves in the last meeting because she had no sense. And nice lady, had no sense, all right? So it's okay, I mean, I've been told that, but I have sense. I just don't have common sense sometimes. But she started talking about an item, a document that I have not seen and that Mom had not seen. My dog is eating something in the kitchen. He's probably eating all the pork chops that my husband left out. Rocco, come here. What did you eat? Oh, dear God. He's going to be so mad. Okay, so she starts talking, and I'm like, well, where's this document? Where is this document at? And she said, oh, I have it in my hand. I'm going over it. And don't quote me on this stuff, okay? But this is what she said. And I said, well, we don't have that. Have you given that to the mom? And she said, no. And the only document I had was one graph from this assessment. So you guys know like the STAR graph and, from Lexia and stuff like that, how they have graphs and they can print out like summary reports and, different reports based on that assessment. And when I see assessments, when they have the graphical forms, this one was called the AIMS, and it will show like from the beginning, like say September to now, how the child had growth or not, and it showed that gradual build or not, okay? Well, the graph that the school gave us an hour and 10 minutes later. So, okay, let me back up. Okay, so she didn't have the document to us. So I said, well, the parent can't participate as an equal team member unless you provide us the document. And I will halt a meeting in a heartbeat if they're talking about a document that I have no idea what they're talking about. Okay? So she's like, well, I can just go over it. It's right here. No. No, ma'am. All right. So the minute I said you remove the parents' rights to participate as an equal team member, they immediately start scrambling. Oh, well, I can get it for you. No problem. I can get it for you. We will scan it. Blah, 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 blah. Do you know it took them an hour and 10 minutes to scan the damn documents? And because I went on to the test website and I looked at every single damn thing that I'm supposed to get. Summary report, all these different things. It was like 6 other reports. All right. And the school system had not provided an ounce of that in the FERPA request. That's number one. Why wasn't it in the FERPA request? So now they didn't adhere to the FERPA request that we requested. Number two, they didn't allow the parent to participate as an equal team member. All right. Then they waste an hour and 10 minutes of the IEP meeting because they're scanning damn documents that they should have sent the parent back in the FERPA request that was like 2 months ago, and didn't even provide it to us for the meeting today. So they didn't give it to us at FERPA when we asked 2 months ago, and they didn't give it to us today or 3 days ago, which is what was required. All right? Not okay. All right? School districts must give you documentation. They'll say, okay, so per idea, there's no timeline. All right? But per idea, it has to be given to you before the IEP meeting. All right? So some states say actually a day because they have to be better or equal to idea. Idea just says before the meeting. For example, I think it's California or no, it's New York is 3 days. California is 3 days. And so I always say, because I'm an advocate, I want the documents 5 business days in advance so I can get with the parent and go over the documents. If there's anything that's going to tick me off, it's not going over documents. All right. I am a data-driven person. I go off of data. All right. Because there's so many times the school system will say, well, this, and this. The child is doing great. They're doing this and this and this and this. And where's the data? Show me the data. Oh, well, we don't have data, but, today in class, XYZ. And yesterday, oh my gosh, she did so great in how she communicated and this, and this. I've said this and I'm going to say it again. I call it as I see it. Okay? So I am so happy that the child was really excited about talking about what they did over the weekend. I am glad that they communicated. I am glad that the kids like to go outside at recess and swing. I am glad that the kids loved, being with mom and dad over the weekend. Or they went and had a sleepover at grandma's house. Or whatever the case may be. I am so happy about that. And I may not sound happy about it right now, but I have a point here, okay? My point is at the end of the day, even though that makes me happy in everyday life, I want to hear the happy things. I keep negativity away from me. I know, guys, surprise, surprise. No, I don't like negative crap, okay? But when it comes to the IEP, I feel like that's what I deal with every single day because it's like a use and abuse type situation. Now, this isn't every situation. I'm not talking about every situation, but a lot of situations that I personally deal with are a use and abuse situation, are a take advantage type situation, we're better than you than situation, and more. And it's not cool, all right? So, I am a stickler over data, all right? So if you're going to tell me something, you sure as hell better have something to back it up, all right? It's not like me calling my friend and saying, hey, what's up? How are you? What you doing? Do you want to come over tomorrow night? Let's drink some beer, whatever, okay? And we just shoot the shit. That's cool, all right? But this isn't that, all right? This is an IEP, all right? We're not shooting the shit. You're not telling me who swung who and who, loved running at recess and, who skipped and played, what's that called? Where you skip, what's it called? There's 2 squares and then 1 square. What's that called? I used to love that game. Hopscotch, right? All right. So hopscotch. I'm so happy that they like hopscotch. I loved hopscotch. Hey, Erin, how are you? Hey, Sheila. Hey, Kim. So where is the data? Yeah. Hey, Christina, how are you? All right. So don't come at me if you don't have data. All right. Ask my parents when they're giving me documents. If they don't give me all the documents, I'm asking for more documents. You need to go look for this. You know what I mean? Or I'm going to get it during the FERPA request or whatever, But I am very much a stickler about data, and I'll tell you why. If the school system will throw out, and I learned this, I want to say early on, but it really wasn't. Okay, I really sucked at the IEP process. I'll just keep it real with you. I was really bad. So but I love puzzles, not real puzzles. I really suck at like real puzzles. But I was telling my husband this morning, this is kind of funny how this is a conversation we actually had this morning. And like, he's actually good at physical puzzles. I'm good at puzzles that happen and I can formulate them in my head and figure it out. All right. And so I learned that the school system will talk about all those positive things right at the beginning. All right. So like, oh, she's such a joy to have in class. What'd they say today, Nadia? She was just so excited and happy, and she's just such a joy. I mean, I've heard that one so many times. And just such a joy, such a joy, such a joy. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I know this about my child. All right. You guys know this about your child. Hey, Alicia, how are you? All right. You guys know this stuff about your children. You know that they're awesome. Okay. So now that we know that our kids are awesome, can we get on to what we're here for? Right? We're here because our kids have special needs. We're here because our kids have disabilities. We're here because we want to help and support and advocate for them. We're not here to talk about how awesome my child is and how much of a joy she is to have around. I know that already. I don't need you to tell me that. Okay? Because that's not the purpose of why we are here at the IEP meeting. While I appreciate it, thank you, let's move on. Okay? Call me whatever you want to call me, but that's how I am. All right? Who wants to be in an IEP meeting, right? So let's do this thing and leave, right? So in the beginning, when they start talking about all that stuff, so I said, okay, awesome, and I listen to it now because I used to say, okay, I really don't care about their positivities. I really don't, because that's not what they have an IEP for. That's what I used to say. And then I was like, you know what, just let them talk, and I'm going through documents at that time anyway, so I just let them talk while I'm going through the IEP still and going through, as they're introducing themselves, I'm, making my notes of what I needed to make notes of, and I just let them run their mouth for a hot minute. And then once this team started going and the teacher started talking about the documents that I did not have, and it took them an hour and 10 minutes to get scanned, then the IEP meeting begins. All right, hour and 10 minutes later. All right, kind of pissed off at that point. All right, and then what really ticked me off, all right, the meeting was not it wasn't, all right, it got somewhere, but at this point, and I'm going to be writing an email, but at this point, it was at, that, okay, we got somewhere, but it wasn't like finalized, which we knew, Mom and I knew it wasn't going to be finalized today, but we got somewhere. And then at the end, I'm very picky about what I say so that they're mindful, okay? So in the meeting, we were fighting for reading. So in New York, in this situation, all right, the classroom was half and half. I mean, maybe a little bit more gen ed kids than special ed, but it's a half and half class. So there's a special ed teacher in the class and there's a gen ed teacher in the class, which is actually really kind of cool. But, like I said to Mom, it can be good and bad, because then you have gen ed kids and you have special ed kids. The special ed kids are taken to the back or whatever to work with a special ed teacher, but then there's 11 kids that she said that she's responsible for. So I asked her directly, I said, so you are responsible for 11 kids with IEPs, all right, and you're supposed to make sure that they progress. One person to 11 children to take in the back and have in groups and whatever. Not all of them probably need one-on-one or whatnot. But 11 kids with IEPs to one teacher, that's like a setup for failure. And, I even make that comment a lot. Teachers are almost sometimes set up for failure because they're given too much on their plate. And not one person in this world can sit and do some of the things that teachers are set up for. It's like it's enough to have gen ed children and typical children, and you have 25 to 30 something kids. That's enough in itself, let alone have 11 children with special needs and specific and specialized type instruction that's individualized. How is one person supposed to serve all of them? That's impossible. All right, I didn't bring this one up yet, but I'm going to. All right, and the reason I didn't bring it up is because I got into a power play with the who the heck was it? I don't even remember now. She's not the director. I don't know what the heck she was. She's in administration, but she's not the director. She's decent, all right? She's reasonable, but she wanted to sit and argue with me over 20 freaking minutes. 20 minutes. Lady, it's not worth it. It's not. All right? I'm going to win those 20 minutes. You are not. Okay? The reason I'm going to win those damn 20 minutes is because we have a child that every bit of data shows that the child is behind in math and reading. There is a large gap. Okay? The school system failed, and all school systems seem to be doing this and failing children by not coming to you and saying, hey, Mom, Dad, hey, Aaron, hey, Amy, hey, Kim, hey, Nadia, hey, Veronica, hey, Faye, I just want to let you know, okay, that your child is not doing well, okay, and we need to figure it out. Something's not working, all right, and I'm not real, and if a teacher said this, I would so freaking respect them, and anybody else who said this. I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. I need your help. All right? I think we need to meet as a team because I can't figure it out. If a teacher said that to me, oh my God, you guys, I would just be in heaven. Because if someone came to me and said, I can't figure it out, but your child is not doing well and we need to meet and I need your input, and we need to meet as a team because decisions cannot be made outside the IEP process. So anybody who tells you otherwise is not telling you the truth. And anything that goes into play outside of an IEP is a big, 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 big no-no. All right? So I almost want teachers to come at me and say, it's not, in my life right now. But as far as, for you guys, if a teacher ever came to you and said, hey, something's not working, I can't figure it out, and these are the things that are going on. These are the things that are transpiring. Math is going down. She was at this, at the beginning of the year, and now it's going down. I'm not really sure where she's stuck, I would so respect that. And then we all come together and we figure it out. I've said that so many times, and I just wish it would happen. If it ever happens to you guys, will you please email me? Because I just want to know that there's somebody out there that is going to be willing to put themselves out there for a child like that and a child that's struggling. And realize that moms and dads and grandmas and foster parents and everybody else is going to respect them even more for allowing us to know that none of us are perfect. I can't even tell you how much respect I would have for someone who said, hey, I'm not perfect, I can't figure it out. I need your help. Because who knows their child best? Mom, dad, parents, grandparents, even know their grandkids, even, you know what I mean? So, I'm hoping one day But, the waiting for an hour and 10 minutes, I don't know why I waited that long, to be honest. I think it was it was a waste of time. It was completely disrespectful to the parent. Um, it was disrespectful to the whole team. Um, and it shouldn't be allowed. All right. It was just completely inappropriate. And then to have an argument with an administrator in regards to 20 minutes is crazy. This child's going into middle school. All right, you guys know middle school, you got certain brackets of time for each subject, and you have like 7 to 9 classes per day for 40 to 50 something minutes. I know in high school it can go up to 75 minutes. And our days and our classes are only 40 minutes. So, someone tell me why I'm supposed to care. I mean, I don't care. I don't care if it's 15 minutes. All right. The child needs an hour and a half of reading of direct instruction. So if you want to push me, then that's where we're going to go with it. All right. But I'm saying that we'll do an hour. There's ways to work around it. And you want to sit and go back and forth with me over 20 minutes when you guys are the one that failed the child, not me. Okay? So you guys are going to do what you need to do to fix it. And what drives me crazy is I'm really good at listening for things of that come out of their mouth and how it is said. So I even asked, can you explain that to me? Because she said, we don't really do that around here. Okay. Ding, 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 ding. What do you mean you don't do this around here? I don't really care what you do around here. I didn't ask. I didn't ask what you do around here. I'm telling you that you need to do what's needed and appropriate for this kid. So if it's your first time, awesome. That's what you got to do. All right? So be that parent to be the first parent to set something into play for other children. All right? Because stop thinking that because the school system, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. We've never done that here before. That's not something that we do. You're gonna figure it out. You're gonna learn how to do it. And I told her, I said, I don't care what you have to screw up in your schedule. We're not worried. I'm not, and I'll say, and I did say, I'm not worried about your schedule. I'm not worried about inconveniencing you. What I'm worried about is the student gets what's needed and appropriate. That's what I care about. All right. This isn't about you. This is about the student. So if you have to screw up your day because the student needs help in reading, then I'm totally cool with you screwing up your day. All right. If a child needs math and 20 minutes or reading and 20 minutes is going to, put you in, I was trying to think of something funny and I go to a totally different place. So we'll just keep it at it. They're going to argue over 20 minutes. Okay. So no, I'm not giving up on that. Hell no, not happening. All right. And you guys don't either. When a school system says something, all right, or wants to dictate something to you, learn real quick to say, no, 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 no. We're not doing that. Don't you ever dictate something to me. You're talking to the wrong person. Maybe you need to go talk to the woman down the street, but I'm not the person you're going to dictate something to. All right? So you need to set the tone, all right, when it comes to IEPs, all right? And you need to make sure that you have boundaries. All right. Have you heard of those books? What is it? Boundaries with your husband, boundaries with kids, boundaries with all that stuff, teenagers, etc. You set boundaries, and I need to write a book, Boundaries and IEPs. That's what I need. You need to set boundaries of things that you're going to allow and things that you're not going to allow. Things that you're willing to flex on, don't tell them what that is, but things that you know you're willing to flex on, and things that you know that you're not willing to flex on. All right. It's kind of like having the mindset of mediation. All right. Okay. This is what I want. This is what I'm willing to tweak. If they give me this, I'll give them that. It's like a whole this negotiation thing. And then you have, I'm not flexing on this. I will do whatever I got to do. I will go to due process. I will go to the circuit court. I'll go to the Supreme Court over this. And then all of this over here is play, and you're going to negotiate to get what you want. All right. And so that's where my PPPN came in: the plan, prepare, present, persuade, and only negotiate if you have to. And so the present and persuade part is all this stuff over here. All right. And it's super, super, super important. A friend, messaged me and said, hey, I have a mom. I want to send her to you. She really needs your help. Okay, cool. Send her to me. All right. So she comes to me and she says, yeah, I just need your advice on, what you would do with this. Can you look at this for me and this for me? Sure. No problem. So I looked at all of her stuff. I gave her advice. I, wrote down all my notes in the IEP of all the things that it kind of triggers my mind of what to address, any violations that I find, all of that kind of stuff. Okay. And then, she then goes to the IEP. And I don't know exactly what happened. She told me what happened, but, when you're not there, you can't really, say, what really transpired or how it went down or what was started. There should be some sort of like a flow to it. And so it was a complete bomb. And, when she came back to me, she said, it's crazy. You went through all this with me. You were detailed. You went through all the data. I had all your notes in front of me. I had all your comments that I needed to question. I had everything. I was ready. I was prepared. I read it over and over. And she said, but then when it came to fighting for and being being persistent with the things that I wanted, I didn't know how to back it up. I didn't know the right things to say. I didn't know how far I could push them. I didn't know how long I could stay fighting for one thing. And it was interesting because, if any of you are in my course and, you've gotten the Rock the IEP, then you guys know that story on my sales page, which says I thought I knew everything because I had gotten my Google PhD. And all it did is give me knowledge. And that knowledge was amazing. It was good to have, but it didn't put me in that seat, whether it's here at home or there physically. I've told parents recently, since COVID, shoot, stay at home. Do it all online forever and ever and ever because it's so much more convenient. All right. And then you don't have that nervous energy around you. All right. You can lay your stuff all over the floor. You can do whatever you want, And so that is what parents need to focus on the most. I'm realizing, okay, so we can give all this knowledge. And as you guys know, I have 50 million videos. I give knowledge. But what I'm realizing is what is hard to teach is what I do in the meeting. All right. So I can teach, okay, this is how you make goals. This is how you, go through the present levels. This is how you make sure the present levels are on point. If they're not on point, your IEP sucks. All right. And that's your present levels is how you make your goals. It's how you make your services or get your services. It's how you get modifications in place. Everything, accommodations, everything about your IEP is based on what is written in the present levels. Okay, the present levels of academic achievement and functional performance. That is your meat and potatoes. If that is written wrong, everything will be wrong because the school will base their decisions off of that. And if your assessments from the ones before and the most recent are not in your present levels, then you're really screwed. Okay? So those are really important. Okay? So going back to today's meeting, all right? So arguing, I'm just going to call it how I say it. Okay, it's not advocating anymore. All right. It's become like a full blown, let's just go back and forth at this. Okay. So of course I'm advocating for the child. I'm getting them what they need, what's appropriate for them, etc. But in the grand scheme of things, in that moment, it's a damn argument. It just is. All right. So the arguments for the child, it's in the benefit of the child. The child benefits from me going at it with the person. But it's funny because I'm like, shit, am I advocating or am I fighting every day? So it's a conflict I have in my head because it's like, oh my God, I'm like a professional arguer. Like I get paid to argue, like everybody's like, go be an attorney. But it's frustrating to argue with somebody about, stupid things, thank you. Don't argue with me about 20 minutes. All right. I will negotiate with you. I will work with you if you're a reasonable person. All right. If you want to argue with me and just make it a fight like a woodpecker and just keep hammering at somebody, like I just scared my dog, then fine. I will fight with you. But if you're going to be reasonable and say, all right, listen, if the school system said this to me, all right, listen, how about this? We know she needs reading, and they admit it. We know she needs reading, and we know, she needs math. We agree that, the remedial and the intervention needs to happen. Cool. Okay. One down. Okay, let's move on. So what we need to discuss is how that's going to look. Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. Okay, let's move on. So this is how I propose it to look. And then they propose what it's supposed to look like. And then you come at them with, well, what about this? And then you kind of play with it and negotiate and work together. I love that. I love teams who do that. All right. It's not an all the time thing, but there are teams that do it. And those are the teams I love. And I've actually, 2 school systems in Ohio, we actually get along now, like really well. Where the director of special ed, it's a guy, and he and I get along great now, and like we've had meetings, just him and I and the parent, and it's just kind of, I went from, we had World War III, and now it's come full circle. And that's what I really like to see, is where it's come full circle. Yeah, it may have started out like this, but we gradually built, and then that respect factor came into play, and then we ended up on the other side. All right. And then there's a win-win, because number one, they're going to know I'm not putting up with shit. And then number two, there's a win-win because the child then gets what they want. The aura, the feeling, the sense of the team comes back together. And, there's that sense of respect. You may not like each other. That's okay. Who cares? But there needs to be that sense of respect. But typically, it doesn't start off that way. Does that make sense? So, in the future, if you have IEP meetings, make sure you stay persistent. All right. Just because, she said, oh, we can just do 40 minutes. Well, that's all we can do. We can take from this class, we can take from this class, but we can only do 40 minutes. If you know that child is struggling and is like 3-4 years behind in reading, no, ma'am. It was a lady. No, I'm not negotiating on that, because the science of reading says 90 minutes of direct one-to-one instruction and 30 minutes of group. So if you want, we can do 90 minutes of one-to-one instruction and 30 minutes of group, and I'll say screw the 1 hour, but I'm not budging on 1 hour. All right? So you have to know your own boundaries of what it is that you're going to allow and things that you're not going to allow. All right? Because you have to be reasonable, but you also have to get that child what's needed and appropriate. And I'm not going to budge on things that are not reasonable because it's convenient to them. And I even said today, I don't care what's convenient for you. I don't care if you have to spend money to hire someone from the outside to bring them in to educate this child that is qualified and able to teach the science of reading. Because guess what? The science of reading is not a freaking methodology. All right? It is a flow of explicit instruction. Okay? It is so easy. I could teach you how to do it with your own children. It's that easy to do. And yet teachers are not trained in it. And now they are getting more and more trained, and it's awesome, but you have to fight for that. All right? So it's the how it's done and the who does it. How and who are the most important ever in the special education world. How and who. How is that service or academic instruction given? How is it given and delivered? What does it look like? Okay. And then who is delivering it? Okay. Sometimes the how could be shit, but the who could screw it all up. All right. And even more so than the shit that it is. So you have to focus on getting those two together. All right. The how and the who. And, you know, one thing I was looking up yesterday, and I'm going to come to you guys with this, is, and this was on, one of the national organizations I work with. And, it was interesting because we're told so many times that we can't choose the teachers, or we can't choose the service providers, and we can't choose this person or that person, right? And that is 75% true. But it actually is 25% false. I'm coming up with percentages myself, y'all, okay? I'm just being honest. But I'm just being honest with you, too, at the fact that there is a way, all right? And that comes with having that individualized education plan, all right? And I'm going to have a live on it, and I'm going to explain it all, okay? And how it works and what needs to happen, and the different things that back it up, because never do you go into an IEP meeting and not back up what the heck you say. If I'm going to go to a meeting and I'm going to expect them to back it up with data, I sure as heck better be able to put my money where my mouth is, so to speak. All right? So if I'm going to say this, 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 and this, I'm sure as heck better be able to back every last one of those up, either with data, with an assessment, with something I've seen, whatever, video, whatever. But you've got to back up everything you say. All right, you cannot go to the school system, all right? And parents have done this, and I know why they do it, and I feel for them because I'm a parent. I get it, okay? But at the same time, guys, all right, the school system is not your counselor, okay? They are not there to sit with you for an hour and to counsel you on your child misbehaving at home, all right? They are not daycare providers. They are not there to babysit your children. All right? They're there to educate your children. So if you're going to hold them accountable to something, you hold them accountable for the education. Oh, I got something to tell you guys. Who's shared this? Who's shared this? I'll even add one more person to my Amazon gift card delivery. All right? Share this right now. This was an email I responded to this morning. I'll actually even read it to you, minus the names. And you're going to fall on your faces, because I could not. Maybe I look at things because, I look at things in a very focused way when it comes to special ed. I have no emotion when it comes to special ed. What was it last night that I was telling you guys that I'm not mean? I actually have a heart. I actually really care. And I'm a pretty cool chick outside the IEP meeting. But for some reason, I know how to turn it off when it comes to the meeting. It's almost like a light switch. All right. I can be Raven. I can be happy. I can be, funny. I make stupid jokes. I don't get jokes at all. It takes me a whole 40 seconds and everybody's laughed already. And I'm laughing after the fact. So I'm pretty cool when it comes to that. But put me in an IEP meeting and you would think oh my God, she is a crazy person. If it was me to describe me, I would be she's nuts. She's really good at what she does. I would say that. All right. I'm very confident in what I do. Do I always get everything I want? No. Am I perfect? No. But I think that's what I would say about myself. She's crazy. She's crazy. She's funny sometimes. She's crazy. She shocks the heck out of me with the stuff that comes out of her mouth. Damn. That's what I would say about myself. But at the same time, I like that I say that about myself when it comes to the IEP. Now, if I said that about myself in my turn the light switch off life, sounds so stupid. All right. I walk out of the meeting. I shut the computer off. Then I would be okay, that's not cool. Right. But I like that I know how to turn it off in the IEP meeting because there's been several times that I've actually cried in IEP meetings, and I still do. All right. When it's extremely emotional. And the school system isn't budging and I'm so freaking mad. Is there any of you guys out there that when you're so mad you cry? That's me. All right. And I don't cry in IEP meetings. So if I do, I'm really good and mad. And then I'm emotional because I'm fighting for this child and this school system is, you don't want to know what I want to call them, So, okay, so here's what happened this morning. So you guys learned your lesson. Don't wait for an hour and 10 minutes while they go look for data. All right? I'm definitely holding them accountable. I'm definitely sending an email. I'm definitely going to make sure that they are going to be called out for this bullshit. And I'm definitely going to make sure that they are going to own it and make sure that it never happens again. All right? So, because they didn't provide data before an IEP meeting, they removed the parents' rights to participate as equal team members. Shall I go on? Procedural violation, FAPE. I could add some more. All right? Because not allowing the parent to participate as an equal team member is a failure to provide FAPE, a free, appropriate public education, because the parent knows the child best. But as an equal team member, they are the ones also that need to contribute so that IEP is adequate and appropriate and individualized for that child. So if you are taken out of the equation because you don't know what they know, that's a problem. It is a FAPE violation and it's a procedural violation. Okay? All right. So this is what happened this morning. Let me pull this email up. I'm going to read it to you. And I am going to remove names. Okay? And it was just shocking to me. Funny enough, there's 2 emails from the person here. All right. So this is the conversation. Give me 2 seconds. Well, there's a couple things actually on this case. This case is a freaking nightmare. It is in Massachusetts. Anybody out there from Massachusetts? Anybody? Make sure you guys post your comments below. And if you are just joining, welcome. Post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. Aaron, if you're still on, if you want to share this video to the group, that would be awesome. Okay. So I sent this morning. So, okay, here it is. Okay. So the teacher, let me go back to what she wrote, and then I'm going to tell you what I wrote. And no, I was not nice. Okay. So the child, okay, here it is. So the child was aggressively hit by another student. Okay. Which is not fine. But as I said to mom, you know, it wasn't the other child's fault. So here's what the teacher said. Hi, Miss, I'll just say Raven, okay? I am emailing you to fill you in on what happened. And mind you, I listen and pay attention to certain words that are said. So I'm going to explain this to you. I am emailing you to fill you in on what happened at school today. A student in my classroom was having a hard time and grabbed your son somewhat aggressively on the forearm. There were no visible markings, and your son said he was fine. Miss so-and-so also spoke with him, again in parentheses, told her he was okay. She asked him if he would like to go to the nurse, and he said he did not need to. After the incident, he participated in arts and crafts activities with classmates. He was seemingly fine and having fun with one of his peers. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer them. Have a great weekend. Anybody find what set me the heck off? All right, there's so many words in that I can't even tell you guys. All right. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Lindsay. You're from Massachusetts. I'm talking about Massachusetts. Shoot. Kaj, hello. Hi, Lori. Veronica says that is where I always struggle, is how to make them own it. Yeah. Yes, I cry when I'm mad. Amy says she cries when she's mad. Amy Wild says true. Me too. Victoria says she cares. Someone has to. Erin says forgot you're baddest. Okay, so Veronica, she feels. No, I'm scared of lots of things. Okay, I am very scared of lots. Okay, you guys want to know something? I think I said this to a parent the other day. Who was it? Was it you, Nadia? I said, do you want to know what I'm scared of? The number one thing that I'm scared of? Well, other than like emotional things, but like I'm scared of caterpillars. I'm not lying to you. Hands down, I am petrified of caterpillars. I don't know if it's because I was walking and there was a tree and I walked under the tree and like it was like when all the caterpillars were like all crazy this one year and they like a bunch of them all fell on me at one time and I freaked out. And then my husband a couple years ago like put one as a joke like behind my back, and I'm scared to death. You want to scare me? You want to make me cry? Get me around caterpillars. All right, I'm not scared of them if they're on the floor or on the ground or I walk past them. That no. It's when they're up in my face and in my space. There's just something about. I would take a snake over a caterpillar any day. All right, so there's a fear of mine. All right, so ask questions, guys, but I'm going to go through what I wrote back to this email. I said, Miss So-and-so, thanks for letting Mom know what happened at school. I wanted to start it off with a thank you because thank God she at least told her, okay? I said, number one, The student was, and then I repeated what she said in bold. I said, the student was aggressively grabbed by a student. And then I said, let's leave out somewhat aggressively touched and the other student being mad, having a bad day, etc. This isn't about the other student. Okay? So, somewhat aggressively, that is a way in which someone downplays something that happened. Okay? That is a verb that is put into a situation on purpose. Okay? So I said all things here are irrelevant, and in all actuality, you are either aggressively touched or you're not. It's one or the other. Okay? You're not aggressively somewhat touched. You're either aggressively touched or you're not. Okay? That's how it is. There is no middleman. Furthermore, the student being mad, having a bad day, etc., is not the student's fault, another child with special needs, but actions should have been taken so the other students are safe. Meaning, that student that was having a meltdown, a breakdown, etc., I bet you that student didn't have a proper BIP with a de-escalation plan and something in order, and then something in order to keep the other children safe. See how the problems kind of transfer to other children and vice versa because things aren't in place the way they should be. So I said, I'm sure it is not noted or known that this student, I said, I'm sure it is noted and or known that this student can be aggressive. I'm sure this isn't the first time, right? Let's save the verb before aggressive and be forthcoming here. I said, keep it real and do not deflect from the issue. You become more trustworthy when you are honest. Even if someone is mad, they at least will trust you. Now, we have an issue where Miss So-and-so's ability to make appropriate and safe decisions, because we got two teachers here who made bad decisions. All right? And so Miss So-and-so ability to make appropriate and safe decisions are in question. Hers and yours, all right? So they're both in question. For example, the ability to keep the student and all the other children safe while in school is a student's right, all right? All of this due to decision-making not being adequate and appropriate to ensure this happens. For proper procedures, the proper procedures were also not taken. I know if it were my child and she was aggressively grabbed, this situation would not be occurring right now. Then I said, number 2, there were no visible markings. That's what she had said, right? So I put that at the top, the title of what they said, and then I responded. By this statement, it is looked at as if you made the decision that the student was okay because there was no visible markings. So I said, do you realize that most damage to one's psyche and to a person is verbal, not physical? I said, but you decided to rely on I'm fine. Then you also decided, because a child said that he was fine and okay, that a nurse visit was not necessary. Documentation did not have to be provided, meaning a incident report. And mom didn't need to be called. Her child was aggressively touched, etc. But documentation didn't need to be taken. No incident report. The child didn't need to go to the nurse just to be checked out by a professional. And the child's parents didn't need to be called. 3 bad decisions made by 2 separate teachers. All right? So then I said, who are either of you to decide this for those procedures not to happen? Because that is policy. All right? So then I said the student said he was fine and okay. So I'm again repeating what they said in their email. So I said, great, but the proper decisions and choices still need to be made by a responsible adult. And then I moved on to saying basing adult decisions on what a child says after being physically abused. And then I said, yes, this is what it is termed and defined as physical abuse. Anytime that somebody puts their hands on you in an aggressive way, the term is physical abuse. Now, it's not a physical abuse CPS. It is just termed physical abuse. All right? So, how I look at it, and I'm just talking to you guys right now, is how I look at it is it doesn't take much for the school system to call CPS on any of y'all. All right? Because they're pissed off and want to, do something to, respond to your advocating. But they won't take a child who was physically and aggressively attacked by another child to the nurse. What is wrong with that picture? Am I crazy? Or is there something wrong with that picture? All right. So I said, I went on and I said, a trip to the nurse, documentation, and a call to mom should have been what was done and the responsible thing to do. And this decision to not do this was made not by one adult, but two. I expect an incident report to be emailed home today, and never should documentation be sent home in a student's backpack. I said a student was physically and aggressively touched, which is abuse. If anything, for documentation, which I request, is important. And I said, just like you are mandated to call CPS, you are also mandated to keep children safe. So to make excuses and use words or to deflect a situation is completely inappropriate. I went on to talk about the other teacher and how they came into play and how their decision was irresponsible. And then I said in sum, how the whole situation was not handled appropriately. In fact, it was brushed off, and then the parent was approached with an email that says, I want to just fill you in. All right? I said, I have several questions. Where were you when the incident happened? Where did the incident happen? What time did the incident happen? And why was the other student not removed from the classroom when they started to have a difficult time in order to de-escalate? I want to know those answers. All right? So again, it's not the other student's fault. Children have special needs. They have various different things going on. But what didn't happen is several things. The other student wasn't taken out of the class so that the students in the class were kept safe. All right? The student having the behavior issues could have been taken to a resource room, take a walk in the hallway, whatever it is that was probably not in their BIP and de-escalation plan, which is why the child was in the classroom and had the ability to harm another student. All right, which is why the importance of a BIP is huge. All right, the other thing, the teacher asking the student if they're okay, totally fine. I like that. But you cannot ask a child if they're physically, aggressively grabbed or whatever and make the decision to not take them to the nurse. Even if nothing was wrong at all, zero, zip, you still have to make and do that action because it's policy. It's what has to just be done just because it has to be done. All right? The nurse then calls the mother or the father or guardian or whoever and writes up an incident report, or the teacher writes up an incident report. That is how it happens, okay? You don't write a freaking email to a parent and say, hey, I just want to fill you in. Your child was physically and aggressively grabbed today. You don't do that, okay? You just don't do that, all right? Is it in the grand scheme of things? All right, let's take it down a notch, all right? Because I'm telling you where I'm trying to point things out to you so that if you see these things happen, you see what I'm seeing, all right? Which is what they did wrong, how it should have been done differently, and what you expect to be done, questions answered, whatever have you, the delivery of the incident report, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, okay? In the grand scheme of things, is the child hurt? No, he's not. I know for a fact he's fine, okay? But who is that teacher to make that decision based off of the key word that everybody knows does not mean I'm fine. If you say, hey, how are you, Erin? What's going on? How are you doing? I'm fine. That means I'm not really in a great mood, but I'm fine. Everything's going fine. Everything's fine. Really? Do you know what I mean? Plus, this was a preteen. Do you really think a preteen wants to go to the nurse and talk about this? Or do you think that they are going to say, yeah, you know, he really hurt me. My arm really hurts. No, because they're going to be embarrassed. They don't want to do that kind of thing. And, you know, another thing that could have gone wrong is the teacher asked the student if they're okay, if they want to go to the nurse or whatever, in front of everybody. You know, there's certain things that you just have to be tactful about. And, you know, children with special needs and children with that don't have any disabilities. You know, the psyche is very different, you know, for each person. And so I don't like things if someone's going to say something to me or say somebody's mad at me or whatever, all right, and they want to call me out. Okay, cool. Call me out. Don't call me out in front of public. Call someone out face to face, you and them, and handle it. You don't need to make it a big thing and, you know, embarrass somebody and make them feel like crap and that kind of thing. That's just not cool, you know? So you want to do things in a tactful way, and that wasn't done with this student. They weren't given that same respect. You know what I mean? So, and, you know, the other student, a conversation could have been had, maybe not. But, you know, there can be dialogue there and some teaching going on there in regards to the situation that happened, you know? So, you know, every situation can become a teaching situation. And good or bad, they can become a teaching situation. And you can bring it around and you can make it right, you know? But you can't just email a parent. If someone emailed me and said, hey, I just wanted to let you, just letting you know your child was aggressively attacked today. I mean, that's the word she used, aggressively. I mean, and I'm supposed to just digest that? I'm just supposed to, what am I supposed to do with that? You know what I mean? All right, guys, enough for today. And we will talk later. And again, if you're catching the replay, post a 1 below. If it's your first through third time catching me live, post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. And a lot of my videos are now going to be put into short little blurps, as you guys saw in the video that I posted last night. And it's going to be the main idea of that video or live that I do is going to be put into like a video blurb. So I think that's really cool. I'm excited about that. So Cheryl says, we just raised caterpillars into butterflies. Oh, dear God. I had a friend do that into monarchs, and they were really pretty. I love butterflies. But the caterpillars, they scare me. Kaj says, exactly. I'm glad you guys agree with me. That's good. Bill says, hi, everyone. Hi, Bill. How are you? Sheila says, no, inform me. Not and fill me in. That's right. Nadia says, I've filled out so many incident reports when I worked in self-contained class as a special ed teacher. It was very tedious to always have to write one, but it's something that has to be done after each incident. That's right. And then, hey, Kamisha, how are you? Long time no see. And then Tarina says, thanks for your time. You guys are welcome. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you have a wonderful evening. And I will talk to you guys soon. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Everybody that I talk to on my business end, not you guys, but on my business end, they're like, Raven, you need to shut up. You need to shut up, shut up, shut up. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, you need to make your videos shorter. And I'm like, but I don't know how. So I got to figure out how to make them shorter. Maybe you guys have ideas. I try. But there's so much to say regarding this stuff. But I'm going to really try to make them shorter. I'm going to try. But I've tried. I don't know how. But I'm going to try. All right, I'm going to try for like 30 minutes. But then I get talking and then all goes to heck. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.